Hey, Gabox here. So I went through 15 and 19. You guys saw those videos in preparation for my final Madden 20 retrospective. Probably the last video I'll do on Madden 20 for ages. Probably until the Bronze Age comes around again, or I don't know, maybe a year or two. But anyways, I've probably made 500 videos on this game between the first and second channel. Spent over 1,500 hours. You guys probably saw that video. But I want to break down my final thoughts on it, give it a grade, give it its modes a grade, give it an overall grade. So let's get right into it. I'll come back to Ultimate Team. Exhibition, I don't really play head-to-head franchise. I've definitely played more in practice mode than head-to-head exhibition. Okay, whatever. Franchise. Now, we know franchise hasn't been innovated on for 10 years. And I love innovation and changes and upgrades more than anything else in these video games. It could just be a solid experience, but if it's ones that we've experienced a few times before, right? Everything gets boring after a while. Don't let my wife hear about that. Franchise, she doesn't get boring. Franchise does though. And it's failed to upgrade so much that we had the Fix Madden franchise hashtag trending around the world. Awesome job, franchise community, to get that going, and EA had to respond, right? They wanted to put the franchise in the corner like baby. They wanted to forget about it. It's like where you got your bad coworker. When the boss comes around, you kind of hide him in a closet. Just lose the key. Be like, all right, see you a little bit, Homer. And you kind of like, tighten it up. Try to like make people forget about it. If they would have come out with a blog, would we have even known about it? Probably still. But anyways, franchise in 20 though, trash. 1 out of 10. Although I can give it some redeeming factors because it's still got a solid online atmosphere. MLB The Show doesn't even have online franchises quite like that. So that is what it is. I'll give it a 2. Face of the franchise. Some people like it. I don't. I think it was a waste of time. The best thing I thought about Face of the franchise is exactly what you're seeing on your screen right now, the college team. I was hoping it was going to be a way of warming into some sort of college football, getting the licenses, and then they kind of expand on that going forward into 21. We didn't really see a whole lot of that. I was hoping, there's some mods for PC where you can get a little bit of that. There's not a fully in-depth franchise or college, mode. And I was hoping for a little bit, but they didn't really expand on that. And it takes a lot of EA's resources to make these story-based games, and it doesn't really provide a lot of time for gamers, right? Like, I put 1,500 hours in, like I said, and a couple hours into that. No, put it more into franchise going forward, but the Yard's coming out. We'll see what that is in 21. They put a lot of effort into that. Hopefully that's good. Superstar KO was great, right? It was post-content. It was post-launch content. And, it kind of changed the game up. It was great for what it was, right? A casual mode. Madden had this casual mode a few years ago with draft champions, but they got rid of it, and they made it, you had to pay to play. They made it competitive. They really ruined the game mode. They stopped updating it for, I think, all Madden 18. They didn't update it at all, or 19. I forgot what it was. But, so it was frustrating. And Superstar KO, I hope, doesn't go down the same path of a lot of people moved over the Yard, and they just kind of forget about Superstar KO being a thing. I would have wished there had been more MUT rewards tied into it, so give us more reason to grind it. But it was fine for casuals. Bill Simmons mentioned his podcast. He was playing with his son with it. So it's great for people that just play the game to have fun. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But overall, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Wish it was a little bit more tied into MUT, in my personal opinion, but phenomenal for what it was. Okay. Let's go over into Ultimate Team. We'll wrap up with gameplay. So, Ultimate Team. I think the big sword, Thor's hammer, Haley's comment. I know what I made a comment on Haley's comment. Something that the comment section said, hey, you made me feel old. I haven't heard about that since 1986 when I was in elementary school. But I'm 84 years old, right? I got references of the yin yang. You guys want to talk about the Civil War? You guys want to talk about Cold Harbor? I was there. Damn it. Okay, so Ultimate Team, Madden 20. Sucked in the offseason, great during the season, in my opinion. It's been the thing for years. I mean, we need to adapt to the meta, I guess, right? They're basically saying, hey, go play MLB The Show. We don't give a fuck about you. Actually, I didn't say it. That was a big problem. If they would have said, hey, just don't pay attention to Madden anymore. Like, I do feel like the thing is, like, I feel like they hit their sales goals, right? Like, that's the only way that makes sense. Like, people like EA is greedy, and that is true. But the counter argument is they can make so much more money by putting out content, by making stats on these guys go over 100 and keep giving us packs and promos and, campus heroes, blockbusters, that kind of stuff, position heroes. But they don't. And I feel like their laziness wins too much over their greediness. And it's sad, right? When they have, there are 7 deadly sins and we see 2 of them quite a lot in Madden. And it's unfortunate. right? But I will say the card art's a step up from 20, in my opinion. Good stuff. They still got that like boring ass borders, so that's unfortunate. But overall, the team ended up being pretty good. It just sucks that I wasn't able to spend or buy any more packs with those coins I got left over training for the rest of the year. And it just is what it is. So sadly, that's like it always leaves a sour taste in our mouth, and it just transitions year to year. Like, how many people say I'm not getting mad anymore because the way it treated us at the end of 20? It's a few. Like, I've seen quite a few hardcore players say that. And I know some of it is hollow threat, some of it ended up getting anyways because we're addicted. But that's what hit me on the face last night. Addicted. It just is what it is, right? Up until the Super Bowl, I thought they did a great job with a lot of this stuff. And my only down point is, like, Team of the Week and current day players don't really match the power level of a lot of the legends, right? A lot of the content and the show, people praise it because it's all relevant content. Madden drops more content, way more raw content than MLB The Show. But a lot of it, like veterans, the Team of the Week, like I just said, heavyweights were okay. Some of them worked a little bit. A lot of this content, the Football Outsiders outside of kicker and punters, they're irrelevant, right? They're an irregular elephant. So it is sad, but overall, like with the amount of reroll opportunities, the way that we were able to grind coins, the loophole methods that we were able to take advantage of, fucking awesome. So it was cool. It was so easy to make coins this year through a lot of that stuff. I guess a lot of that was a little later into the season, but like, yeah, Zero Chill was great. The promos were good. Ultimate Legends were okay, I guess. I mean, nothing really shocking there, nothing really different over previous years. So the big thing is no house rules either. I mean, they got some really good ones. College Overtime and the no play spam house rules, phenomenal. I just wish they brought more of them. I wish they stuck to the word and brought them every other week. Every week and just like kind of use some older ones and rotate the older ones every like 3 months. I'm totally fine with that. I think people will be fine with it. Even bringing team restriction ones would be kind of cool. And they just kind of need to do it. So that is what it is. But overall, packs, frustrating. Some are better than others. We made some coins off a lot of them. But, the golden tickets not being in packs and being very rare was like the biggest black mark on that program. It was kind of cool seeing, though, the community come together to kind of do that light goal to bring them back. Whether you think EA had them planned or not, I don't know. But we were able to do it. We had a lot of cool community things going on this year, which was great in 20. So, overall, 20 MUT content. During the season, I think it was like a 9 out of 10 with those minor complaints that I talked about. After the season, like a 2 out of 10. And I feel like, here's the thing, a lot of people and game companies have these like long experiences. People are like, all right, this is just dragging out, right? Wasn't that a big complaint of The Last of Us 2? That Samurai game that Mills was talking about, he was complaining that was just too long. So like, at one point, they're like, Super Bowl's over, we're done, our job's done, go play MLB. It's fine if they told us that, right? If they communicated, all right, we're going to kind of cut back on content for the summer, then we'd know and we'd expect it. But they don't. So, like, having a good, short experience that's amazing while it is good. That's good for gaming. But it's just sad when they don't communicate. So I think EA needs to work on communication going to the next year. Bring back those content calendars that you had for a while. Phenomenal. Mwah. I love it. More communication, please. So with that, gameplay, right? Gameplay I want to talk about. I'll just have some rolling in the background. Here's me playing the number one MUT player in the world. It's basically going to be the meta like you know it, right? And I think the biggest thing, like Madden gameplay, if you play someone that doesn't just adhere to like the meta that does the blitz everybody, the swerve ended up in the end of the year. We had the how do I forget the meta already? Stretch, dive, rollout corners was the meta, and it was the thing about and why I think 20 was better than the last few years, and people are going to kill me for this, and I do think it was because it was concepts that were overpowered, not necessarily formations, and let me explain that. So, in 17, you basically saw two formations online, right? Nickel Blitz, Gun Bunch. And both were very good. Nickel Blitz was unblockable. Gun Bunch did a somewhat okay job at blocking it for most of the year. But at the end of the year, Nickel Blitz became unblockable. So, it was, 15 and 16 had nanos, which kind of sucked. But 20 has like slide ID, that kind of stuff. So a lot of this blitz, a lot of stuff that you're going to see, they're going to send everybody, and it's going to make me frustrated. I'll be able to block a little bit of it in bunch because he just sent in the house, right? So I just kind of checked down. Anyways, That's my biggest problem is the fact that they didn't adjust it. But like the meta being what it was, right? Stretch dive. You were able to stop it out of some formations, right? That's why they called it the Oakland Tour, because they had to keep going between different formations to try to find ways to beat you. And yes, it was overpowered. They could do it. It wasn't that hard. Competitive guys couldn't even stop the run. The run won all 4 tournaments. The problem was the fact that they saw the meta. And when Madden's played well, Madden's been a great game. You're going to blast me for this, but Madden's been a great game when it's not played degeneratively, when it is played like football. When you're playing 2 guys playing football against each other, there is no better game than Madden, and you will not convince me otherwise. The problem is the gameplay team can't bounce, can't fix, can't do any updating without causing bugs, and we've seen this previous years, and they're afraid of themselves. So if they update this to take care of the meta, to fix the meta, to try and update the game, Madden is the best game in the world, no doubt. That's why I play it, that's why I create content on it, because the love of it. And football. Football's the greatest game, right? It's an RPG, strategy game, all that stuff tied in. So, that's my biggest problem. And they didn't do that this year. They actually took a step back from 19 for fixing their game. Remember, they fixed contain blitzes in 19, 20. They didn't do that at all, fix contain blitzes. So, I hope in 21, I hope we can get some regular content updates. I hope we get some sort of like, maybe with the new generation coming, like a test environment so they can put out the patch of the test environment first, have us find the bullshit before it goes live. So we could tell them about the fall forward glitch if that ever happens again, etc. So that's my biggest problem with gameplay. And I think gameplay was better because it was concept-based. Rollout corners could happen in so many different formations. Whether you think that's good or bad, at least it varied, right? At least it just wasn't gun bunch every game. Some people were in tight, some people were in I forms where they could just also do rollout corners, near close. So, like, there was more variety online, and you could say, hey, I don't like variety, and that's fine. Everybody's opinion is perfectly fine. This is just mine. Don't take anything as gospel ever, right? So, or anything I say as gospel ever. Obviously, you could take gospel as gospel, because that's, like, the definition, right? That's literally the word of it. But, like, so it is what it is. I think 20 was better than previous years, but it was so frustrating to play with all the glitches, overpowered bullshit, and like this kind of content, right? Flip, I form, that kind of shit, and you just have to hope to stop their stretch. So like this is like, he's one of the top, and I think this is like a an NBA guy or something. I don't know, but like it is what it is, right? Madden gameplay has been frustrating for years, but I do think 20 and 21 especially could be a lot better. So overall, the gameplay, good when you're playing somebody that plays football, bad when you're playing most of the games online because EA doesn't fix it. So gameplay, I gotta give it a 4 because they just can't keep up with their own gamers. It doesn't feel like they play the game themselves at times. So that's what it is, right? I think I gave my thoughts on 20. What do you guys think? Did you guys like 20? Do you think it was the worst experience ever? Let me know. It just sucks that it's, a sour taste in our mouths at the end of the year with how it ended. But in the end, Madden's a frustrating game a lot. We could just hope to master it. But, yeah. So let's go over it. Franchise, terrible. Mutt was good. Gameplay was terrible. And everything else was kind of added on top. Ice cream. Or, I guess, like the toppings on ice cream. Caramel. I guess Superstar KO was caramel. And the franchise was a dog turd on top of your ice cream. That's it for the video. I guess I'll see you when I see you, Madden 20. Probably won't be for a long time. On to 21. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching Call to Action. Also, check out, I got new Instagram, the TikToks, and Facebook in the description. Just launched them. Hopefully, they'll be kind of cool in 21. I got some things planned for them. See ya.